Okay, fine. So we are now on record. So because we don't want to spend much time, we have just 1 hour, and we spent 3 minutes after the 1 hour already. So that we are able to cover what we've planned for this class. So we'll just start straight. So I'll proceed to share my screen. So let me know, just confirm if you can see, please. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So last week we did UI UX fundamentals. So basically we treated everything about UI UX for those who are new to the skill, some people who are just hearing it for the first time, or you don't know what it's all about. You've been hearing UI UX.
Sorry,
So
sir.
we
Excuse me,
explain.
sir. I can't see your screen, sir.
Can any other person confirm if you can see?
I can see your screen. User
Okay,
interface.
okay, fine. Probably is your system or device you're joining from. You can leave the call and try to join back. That should fix the
I
problem.
can see it now. I can see it now.
Okay, okay, fine, okay, fine. So
Thank you, sir.
yeah, welcome. So we did fundamentals of UI UX, where we actually explain everything all about UI UX. So we actually differentiate between UX and UI. And I mentioned that UX is the overall experience of the user. So when you are a UI UX person, it means you are somebody who is designing for the overall experience of the user. So if you want to focus on just UI, basically you're focusing on just the feel and the look of the design, just the aesthetics alone. So how the design look, and I cited examples around, using cake as an example, using the icing and the design that is around the cake for UI, and using the whole experience the baker go through while trying to produce a cake till the stage that the user gets to consume the cake and confirm that it's really nice. So that's the overall experience. So in today's class, we'll be focusing on UI interface. Basically, we want to do the basics of UI user interface. So it's just like we are now picking UI and we want to treat everything that has to do with UI. So basically, we are doing all the elements within UI. So that's what we'll be treating today. So the first element is typography. So this is one of the key components of UI. So typography, what does it mean? Typography means it's just the act of arranging letters and text in a way that makes the copy legible. What we mean by copy is basically text, like content. Yes, that's what we mean by copy. So like content that is written on a website or on an application. So to make it legible, clear, and visual appealing to the reader. So that particular arrangement that is made is called the act of arranging all those letters is called typography. So it involves font style, appearance, the structure of the font, and every other thing, the emotion that is attached to the font. Why do you use that font? So everything is connected to the typography, the choice of that font. Why do you choose the font? So that's the act of doing all that is typography. So then typography is very, very important. Why? Because it is so much more than just choosing, beautiful font, choosing how beautiful the font is. It is vital component of user interface design. It is a core part of the design, because basically what you're designing sometimes will be just trying to arrange tests, making them look nice and complementing, or trying to complement the text with some other components like image, icon, and others. So, but the major thing, the most important thing in your UI is the text. So then good typography establishes strong visual hierarchy It provides graphic balance to website, app, or whatever product that you are producing, you are designing. So typography should guide, is meant to guide and inform users, and is meant to optimize readability. So when you are trying to make the arrangement and choosing a font, you consider readability in making a choice. And then you also probably choose the font based on the type of design that you're making. Probably you're designing for a particular industry, so you also choose based on that. We're going to explain all that why I continue the class. Then the key points from what we have done so far is I said typography builds brand recognition. It helps you. Probably a lot of us are familiar with brands like MTN, Airtel, and the like. Sometimes I do not need to probably see a lot of branding elements before I know that this particular text is from MTN. There's a particular typography that is custom to MTN, a particular typography that is custom to, a lot of brands like that. So one can use a brand, one can use typography for brand recognition. You can choose a unique typography for yourself that is known to your brand alone. Then typography can influences decision making. So it helps to make decision on any other thing that you want to use. Probably, okay, let's say for header text, you can see this is bolder than the other. So I made the decision that I want to make this the header, and then I want to highlight points under it. So the decision you are making, the typography influence it. If I do it the other way around, I made this to be bold, and I make this to be small, the header to be small, it looks somehow. Then you can try to style whatever your content or copy any way you want, but you must follow the style of the decision that you have made in your. So if you look at my slide very well from the beginning, you see that my slide is following a particular pattern. This is the header. I'm making them bold. Then the body are just basically regular or medium. Do you understand? So the decision, planning your design, you need to make decision on how you want to plan on the usage of typography. So it influences your decision. Then typography holds the attention of the reader. So you can see majorly there are a lot of things, there are a lot of components here. So even all these empty spaces, they are called white space. So they are also valid. They are also very relevant in your design. But what catches your attention most is what is written here. Do you understand? So, and you must master how you use it and not make it too cumbersome that you are not able to get the attention on the most important part of the copy or the design. Do you understand? Then we have font and typeface. So most of the times people actually use these two words interchangeably. They probably think they are synonymous, but there are difference between fonts and typography and typeface rather. So what is typeface? Typeface is basically a design style that comprises of myriad of characters and of varying sizes and weights. So the meaning is like, you can have typeface like Aria, you can have Time New Roman, you can have Calibri, you can have. Are you familiar with fonts? I want you guys to start mentioning fonts that the typefaces that you're familiar with. I've mentioned the most common ones. The most common ones.
Impact.
Montserrat.
Montserrat, yes, Montserrat.
Algerian.
You said what?
Algerian.
Go.
Algerian.
Am I not familiar with that? There are actually
Cooper.
millions of typefaces, a lot, and they kept releasing them from time to time. You start seeing. So one of the key things that makes you stand out as a designer is the ability to identify the best, or the right typeface to use for your design. So you might be looking out for unique typeface that nobody has been using before, just to stand out. So that's why you see some brands, they will go to the length of even buying a typeface. Do you understand? They will make sure they purchase, or even asking designers to build a custom typeface for their brand. That is not common, that anyone has not used before. Do you understand? So typeface is basically the design style that comprises of the characters of varying sizes and weight. So within the typeface, we have varying sizes, we have varying weight. Do you understand? So within Monstera has bold. That same Monstera has semi-bold. The same Monstera has medium. The same Monstera has regular. So these are the most popular weights that we have. What I just mentioned are just weights of typefaces. So each weight is now what we call font. So Monstera Bold is a font. Monstera Semi-Bold is another font. So collection of all these fonts within a particular, all these set of fonts within a particular typeface, they can be categorized under a particular typeface. So the typeface is the Montserrat, and each of the weights under the Montserrat can be the font. So, but it has become so popular that online, even if you search online, and I'm looking for so fonts, it gives you, the whole collections. Sometimes when you search, some fonts would only appear based on a particular weight. You might probably see the semi-bold, or probably see, so you have to be downloading each of the weights one after the other. And sometimes you might be lucky when you type it. All this search engine works based on what we produce. We actually we enter from time to time. So it's the generalization of what everybody has been entering, requesting from Google, and the articles, blog, and different things that people have been writing about, and how you publish things generally online. That is how you get it back when you are trying to search. So most of the time, people interchangeably use the two words. Sometimes when you type font, it gives you what you want. When you type typeface, it gives you what you want. But that is actually the explanation on the difference between typeface and the font. So the typeface is the collection, is the collection that comprises of the varying size and weight of a particular font, and then the font is the weight that we have within the typeface. So then, yeah, this is a very good explanation, illustration of what I just explained to us. So we have typeface, which is the Helvetica. So the entire family of the fonts of different weights, so is the typeface. Then when you want to mention each member of the typeface are now fonts. Helvetica regular is a font. Helvetica oblique is a font. Helvetica light, all these ones are just fonts. And then aside having them in different weights, we can also have them in different style, like italic. You can have them italicized, like this one is italicized. We have light, and then we have oblique. So the word oblique here is what they use for italize. So the most popular word is just italize. You apply italic. So that is very, very popular. So the italic is just to make it slant a bit differently from what we have here that is straight. I hope it's clear to everyone. Hello?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
We can now differentiate between typeface and font, and also know the meaning of typography.
Yes, please.
Yeah, fine. So let's go to the different kinds of typefaces that we have. We have majorly 3 types. So the types are the serif, the sans serif, and the decorative. Sometimes the decorative can be called stylish, or it can be called Collie. Sometimes they call it Collie. It can be decorative in this form, and it can be in a Collie form, like that popular font that people use to type birthday, all those decorative fonts that are used in typing and wedding. Yeah, we'll show samples of each of these. Then we have, yeah, the samples are here. So this first one is sans serif. So the meaning of, sorry, this first one is serif. So the meaning of serif is basically, and the serif means it has extra, like it has edge, it has edges. So look at these edges that are marked blue. These are extra things that other fonts do not have. So if you see fonts that are like this, they look somehow traditional. You understand? They look like fonts that typewriter generates, like what our regular typewriters, those manual typewriters, what they generate, they look like it. So an example of a serif font is Time New Roman. Time New Roman is an example of a serif font. Then sans serif is a font that doesn't have this extra stuff. It is just basically like this. So an example of this is Inter, Montserrat. The vertical that we mentioned here is also a sans serif. So the word sans, this word sans means no serif. That means no angle or no edges or no extra attached to it. I hope that is clear to us. So it means no extra, nothing attached to it. It is just basically this black stuff that we have. So the serif and sans serif can now come in different types based on the name. Do you understand? So decorative font. The decorative font I mentioned is the stylish one that can be used in writing something that you want it to be decorative in nature, like writing birthday, Valentine, wedding, you know, congratulations. You want to write congratulations and all that. So when you are designing, so you want to make all those things look decorative. So use the decorative font. So serif font, as I mentioned, this is the explanation. It has extra. They are being identified by the extra marks at the end of the letter, just as I mentioned, or you can call it just a small strokes. They have small strokes attached to them. As I mentioned earlier, they give feelings of traditional. You look somehow traditional, historical, you know, authority, integrity. Somebody is raising up his or her hands. I think, do you want to say something? Imam Anyeka. Okay. So, yes, I said the serif font gives the feeling of traditional. You know, that's why most cases they are being used in, you know, ancient or in industry that can be, you know, things that are not really in, you know, that cannot really Gen Z like, let me put it that way, that are not sociable, that are not really, you know, that you barely connect to youth, you barely connect to Gen Z. So like newspaper, all this newspaper stuff, you know, most times you see most people that read news, not until now that news has been made very, very easy for us and accessible that we can read online. And news has been made so sociable, like on even news platform, you see a lot of social thing. You can even listen to video, you know, audio and all that now that you might not necessarily have to read newspaper. So, but the ancient newspaper, all this traditional way of reading newspaper, that paper that we have, you see the title of the newspaper are always written with serif font. Sure, you understand. So if you check most of the ancient newspapers, the titles are always written in serif font. And you know, aside from ancient or traditional, I said it's also giving some other feelings like historical, like authority, like integrity. So for that reason, industries like, you know, bank that wants to give the feeling of integrity. Sometimes banks use serif font in their designs. Sometimes, you know, authority, a brand that wants to give the feeling of authority like legal, legal firm, they use mostly serif in whatever they want to do. So I'm saying all this as a design. When you start up as a designer, you want to design website or an app for brands. You find out about the preference of that particular brand, like the peculiarities of that particular brand. Okay, this brand kind of should kind of speak authority. This kind of brand should kind of speak integrity. This kind of brand should kind of, have the feeling, people should have the feeling of historical, people should have the feeling of traditional feeling about the particular brand. So that might actually determine, that might actually help you in making the decision to choose serif or sans serif or decorative fonts for typeface when you are making choice of the kind of typeface that you want to design with. And at the same time, you can actually use both serif and sans serif in a design. Okay, let's come here and check out different websites. Okay, this is the website. So this is, can someone mention what type of typeface is this?
Sans serif.
Yes, this is sans serif.
Yes.
So these
Sans
guys
serif.
use sans serif here. Yes, these guys use sans serif here, and their subtext is also sans serif. Now, there's something I used to do. If you want to discover the kind of typeface that people use in their website, we are getting into practical bit by bit. So there's a particular plugin that I use. It's called Fonts Ninja. So just typically type Fonts Ninja on your browser and then install the extension on your Chrome. So once you install it, it will stick here. Then you click Fonts Ninja. So it loads for some time. Then it helps you dictate the type of font. Can you see what's this type of font? The name of this font is Public Sans Theme. Then the name of their sub font is Inter. Do you understand? So Inter Regular, that's the specific, is giving us the specific font, but the typeface is Inter. So then within the typeface, we can have Inter Regular, Inter Medium, Inter Semi-Bold, Inter Bold, heavy, extra bold and all that. Then this is giving us the specific font, which is Public Sans Theme. That theme is making it to show that it is the font. So within Public Sans, we can have Public Sans Theme, Public Sans Regular, Medium, and all that. So then let's look at another brand. This is also sans serif. This is also sans serif. Let me look at Medium. Let me look at this brand. These guys also use sans serif here. So I'm looking for a brand that actually use serif and sans serif. This is the same thing. So we can look at some of our banks' websites. Let's check out some of our banks' websites. Somebody should suggest a bank that we can check out. Yes.
Stanbic IBTC.
This is it. Yes, we'll check out that. So this is an example of a serif font. Can you see? Look at the G. Look at the letter G. Can you see there's a stroke or extra to that G? Look at the letter A. There's a stroke or extra to the A. Look at the letter K. Can you look at it? There's stroke to it. There are extra stuff. Look at the letter G. So that's how to identify a serif font. So then if you want to inspect the font, you want to know the particular font or typeface they use, you click on Font Ninja, as I mentioned earlier. Then it loads for some time. Then it helps you to, you can see this is the name of the font. This is the name. That means they use a serif font for the header and they use sans serif for the sub header. So let's check out Stanbic IBTC. Okay. This is giving feeling of sans serif, both font used here. You're giving the feeling of sans serif. You know, nowadays, most of our brands, as you know, everybody is looking towards designing for Gen Z, because the youths are actually, you know, we are the major people that actually use most of these services. We are major people that will relate with websites. If you know, if our mothers and fathers, you know, they open bank accounts, a lot of them will not even have an application of their on their phone. A lot of them will not visit the website of the bank. Sure, you understand? So because of that effect, most of the banks, most of the legal parastatal, most of, you know, let's look at legal. Let me just type legal Lagos and see if you can get legal Lagos services. If you can get a website, a legal website that, let's check this out. You know, most of them are now designing for the Gen Z community. They are now making, they're not streamlining their designs for Gen Z. But we still have few other brands that are still, you know, that are still designing for, you know, trying to build, try to communicate trust, you know, try to communicate historical stuff, try to communicate integrity, you know. Yes, look at this legal brand now. So this is also serif font. You can see from the letter T, from the, let's scroll down and see from the letter E, from the X, we can see extra. So these guys use both serif and sans serif. I believe we can all identify what we mean by serif and sans serif now. Is very, very clear. Since
Positive.
I've given
Yes, sir.
different illustrations. So let's proceed. So proceeding with the class, we now understand the difference between both. So there are a lot of other explanations here. I think I've mentioned all that in much more than yes. So for sans serif gives the feeling of modern, gives feeling of, you know, Gen Z, as I mentioned, something that is currently in town. So that is the feeling that it gives. So it doesn't have stroke, it doesn't have any extra dash or extra stroke to it. So it is clear to read. So it is always very clear to read. And then when used in headline, it grabs the attention of the user than serif. So you can see that from this. So you can see that from what we have here. Compare the readability of this to the readability of this. Do you understand? The readability of this. And then another thing that actually matter a lot is the choice of the usage of the typeface. Sometimes some people don't know how to really use it. If I design with a serif font or serif typeface, I can make it readable. You understand? So let's check another website. I think Flutterwave. Now there are a lot of, you know, serif fonts that looks decorative. They look decorative, they look stylish. So like this typeface now, endless possibilities for all. You can see that it looks so much like a serif font because it has strokes. You can see all the strokes at the end of this thing. So these guys actually make a very good choice of this typeface to enhance readability. You understand what I'm saying? To enhance the readability differently from what the legal websites use. Do you understand? So just to make it readable for the user, you can see how they use it. So you can see how they use it. So you need to also learn how to properly use the typeface for good readability. Then popular sans serif fonts include Helvetica, Arial. The default fonts when you start writing in Google Doc So the default font when you start writing in Google Doc, do you know that font? I think it's Calibri or Arial. Let me open a Google Doc for us to see. I'm looking for a doc that is not really so confidential that I can open. I have a lot of the confidential documents here. Okay, I can open a new one, and I have a lot of tabs also open. I like opening from here. Very easy. So let me just open a blank page. So the typeface here is Arial. Yes, right. So it is Arial. So that's the default typeface. Then you can now change. You can switch. You know, a lot of us here are familiar with Microsoft Word or Google Doc. So these are what we are actually explaining that about the fonts and typefaces. So you can see each of the typeface has different weight and different, you know, style. So each of these categories under it are the fonts, and then the main one is the typeface. So and this is how you select your typeface on Google Doc to switch, to change them. So then let's move on. Font and typeface, we've explained the difference between that and the decorative font, decorative typeface. So decorative typeface is basically the ones that are stylish in nature, is decorative in nature. So you can basically use it for, you know, a particular, you might not be able to use it for the whole design. You might not be able to use it for the whole design. You basically want to use it to emphasize something. Yes. You want to make it to emphasize something, or you want to make it to look like, sometimes some logos are decorative in nature. So they are designed to be decorative. Some logo designers don't even, you know, go through too much stress. They will just look for a particular decorative typeface and then style it. They just change one or two things from it, then it turns to a logo. So you can easily turn it to a logo. You can easily use it to emphasize a particular thing. I think I have a sample that I can give, but I don't know how fast that can load. Is on a website. Okay, let's just proceed. I don't know how fast that can load. So yes, let's move to color theory. I believe everything on typography is clear. So color is another component or element in UI design. So I told you typography is a key part of it, and then another key part is color. So because eventually when you apply typography or you bring in illustration, icons into your design, you want to apply colors to it to beautify it. You want to paint it with colors. So color theory, every color is associated with different emotions. So the use of color in design can affect the emotion and mood of the people viewing those those color palettes. So whatever design that you want to do, aside from the fact that you make decision on typeface based on things that I've mentioned earlier, maybe you're designing for a modern, you know, your target audience are basically Gen Z, and you want to make it modern. You want to make it have a feeling or touch of social. You want to make it, you know, you want to make it look social. Then another thing that you need to make choice of is color. So the color also, there are a lot of things attached to it. There's emotion attached to color that you're choosing. There's, you know, tradition attached to color. So probably you want to design for a particular tribe, and the color that you are choosing has a meaning. It has a particular meaning in that particular tribe. You make sure that you avoid using that color. So for example, color red to some people, is danger. So some other people, that same color red can mean positive things. Color white to some people can mean, probably people that are very religious, that are like wearing white. Color white can mean a lot of things. It can mean religious, it can mean, and devotion, it can mean righteousness, it can mean, you understand? Color white can mean a lot to them. Then to others that, that are not in line with that tradition or whatever religion that the other people have believed in, that same color white can mean other things to them. So it has emotional attached to it, there are traditions attached to it, a lot of things that is attached to it. So using colors wisely can improve user experience and increase desired behavior. So the choice of color that you make can actually determine how your user relates with your design, how you convert the design. So if you use color that is against the tradition or religion or belief of a particular people, and you are trying to sell the product to them, you might not sell. Do you understand? So that's why you need to make a right choice of color when you are designing. So then we have the colors are basically generally categorized into two. We have the warm colors and then we have the cool colors. So the warm color are colors that fall in the category of this color. Like, we can generate thousands of color from this particular colors here. So any color that looks energetic, that looks active, that looks sharp, just like this, they are called warm color. So an example of it is, any color that has shades. That shades means even within the red color, we can generate different reds. If I type on Google now, that Google should generate different red colors, different shades of red, you see that it will continue to highlight different shades of red. Do you understand? So then we have orange, we have different shades of orange. The orange that is used by Jumia will be different from the orange that is used by another brand. Do you understand? So might be different from the orange used by another brand. The yellow that is used by MTN might be different from the yellow used by, Bagsy, used by other brands that use yellow. Do you understand? But it is still yellow. So to make a choice of color, you might necessarily not make completely different choice from the existing brand, because most of the colors that we are using, they're just repeating itself. Like Telegram is using blue. If you check Google also has blue in their color. But if you place the color side by side, they might not look alike. Telegram might be using sky blue, and Google might be using probably royal blue or another type of blue. So within the color, we can generate a lot of shades. So any color that falls within this range, within this red, shades of red, orange, yellow, are called warm colors. So the explanation about the red cannot be generalized on every other shades of color that we pick from red. So that's why I'm explaining what is associated with red, what is associated with orange, what is associated with yellow. So I might not be able to explain what is associated with all the whole colors that we have in this world. You understand? So red color is associated with passion, love, and lust. Then it can also be associated with warnings. So you can see what I said earlier. So some colors can have positive and can have the negative side of it. So the usage would now determine what the user will translate the color to. So if I'm trying to pass a warning and I put an alert icon and then I write all the warning in red color, so I'm trying to call the attention of the user to read. Yeah, I write the text in orange or yellow, rather. That's warning color. So I'm calling the attention of the user to read properly. Probably the user is distracted at that moment, and there's an important notice that you need to read are about to take a decision that can be destructive. So I can use warning color or danger color. Everyone here should be familiar with that. Probably when you are trying to delete your account, if you go on Instagram or every other platform and try to delete your account, you see that they will put red there to let you know that what you are trying to do might be destructive. Probably you are not you are not, you are not paying attention at that time, and then there will be a kind of level of security to that. Probably you don't click immediately and that thing deletes. You have to click, and then there's a pop that asks you for confirmation. Are you sure you want to do this? Sometimes some people even will ask you to enter your password if you know you want to do this thing, or they will ask you to enter your email to be sure that you are the one that want to delete it. Probably somebody is trying to delete it on your behalf. Do you understand? So colors can be used, a red color can be used to achieve that. Then you can also a red color at the same time can be attached to passion, love. Most of the weddings that we attend, most of the, what do they do before the wedding? And what's the name of this thing that people do? Somebody should just remind me, please. When you are trying to propose to your spouse, if you call somebody to help you arrange that, I believe everyone is still online.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, fine. So if you call somebody that specializes in decorating to help you arrange for, I want to propose to my, to my lover, or so they help me with some decorations, blah blah blah, and the person just puts blue, green, green, blue, or green, white. Is it Nigeria that is falling in love with? You understand? You question that decision because it has been known and it has been established and it has been in our tradition that red is what we know to be used for that particular thing. Passion, brands that are actually talking about passion, like sports, like sports brands like Man U, like Liverpool, all those sporting brands, they can make choice of red just because to translate to what? Passion, to mean passion. We are Red Devil, all those brand. You say Red Devil, what other thing do they attach to Liverpool? Never walk alone. Red, London is red, blah blah blah. All those kind of slangs that people use, attaching passion. You are passionate about it, and you're attaching the color to the passion. You understand? So then red can have psychological impacts on people, including raising respiration and heart rate. Yes, sometimes some people, that is why it's not even most of the time. That is why you will never get to an hospital and then you see them decorate the settings of an hospital with red. Have you seen any hospital that actually use red as their brand color, or when you get there, you just see everything red? Has anyone seen that before? Yes, no. If you see, please let me know.
No.
Have you? Yeah. Why? Do you know reason why they don't do that? Somebody should just tell me reason why you feel the hospital should not do that.
I feel that because red indicates blood, so they won't want to, use red as decorations.
Yes. Because red is already attached to something that before they leave their home. Everything that comes to your mind when you are going to hospital, injection, drip, they'll take my blood, they'll do this. So you're already, you are already thinking around red. And then when you get there, even if what you're going to the hospital for might not require them to take your blood or do whatever it is, you'll be scared. Your heart rate, your heartbeat might increase. You might start breathing unnecessarily. You understand? In a manner that you might even, if you are not sick before, you can start getting sick at that moment. And it's not also good for children because sometimes the children that you are taking from home to hospital, you might not even let them know you are taking them to hospital. And if you do, you are trying to pamper them and Junior, let's go now. You are trying to pamper them to not to feel that they are going to the hospital for something that will be scary. So that is why the reception of an hospital should be calm, should be cool, should be welcoming, should not be decorated with colors that would scare the patients. So orange also can actually mean we can use it for energetic, positive. It's also associated with autumn. It's also associated we can also use it for warning. We can associate it with a lot of things. You understand? Sometimes we use yellow and orange interchangeably to be associated with warnings. Do you understand? So orange is also associated with warning, though less strongly than red. So it might not be as strong as red. Majorly red is used for danger. Red is used for danger. So in a case where you want to use red for warning, is probably the brand color is probably orange. And then you don't want to use the brand color to also mean warning, so that there is kind of contrast. There's kind of difference in explanation for the user. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Like brands like, let's say, Jumia, they want to mark a particular text or content for you to pay attention to. You have been seeing all along orange, 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 because the brand is orange. Then they now want something to be different. So they can use red as a warning. Do you understand? The same way, if a brand is red, a brand color is red, and they have been communicating red all along, with different things, and then at a point they want to make something different, and they want to communicate danger, they can use orange. They can, just to make something different, they can use orange. They can use it to make to establish difference or contrast. Do you understand that? So majorly, danger is red and warning is probably orange or yellow. So then, yes, orange, we have a lot of brands like Jumia, as I mentioned, like energetic and positive. You can, most of the drinks, soft drinks, they like using orange a lot, because orange is it kind of communicates energy, kind of communicates refreshment, is refreshing. When you see Fanta, you kind of, before they give it to you to drink, you're already salivating, you are looking at it, and it's like you should just take it from the bottle and start drinking, all that. So then yellow can be considered to mean, to mean happiness, to also mean energetic. It can also be positive. So sometimes yellow and orange are very close in meaning. They have very close meaning. So we can also use yellow as, caution, can use it for warning, as I mentioned. So example of brands that uses yellow are, an example of brand that use yellow is MTN. Another brand. Do anyone know any other brand that use yellow? Any idea? Any popular brand that use yellow?
I think Glovo uses yellow.
Yes, Glovo use yellow too. So yes, I did not mention that most of the food brands also, just because they are components of foods that has red, yellow, and orange color. So most of the food brands also like associating their brand with yellow, orange, and red. You get. So then, yes, this is an example of warm color, as I have illustrated earlier. So cool color. So this explanation is supposed to come first. So cool color are basically calming, soothing, color that are very calm. You have a question? Okay, let's proceed. We have to be very fast. I think we should end it here on colors. So we still have explanation on image, explanation on illustration, explanation on icons. So I would probably record that. Then that would be the second version of this class. So the class should end by 9. So yeah, let's treat cool colors. So cool color are basically color that are calming, soothing. They're not really shouting. They're not really energetic, and they're not really vibrant as the warm color. So the shades of the color within the cool color are shades of blue, green, and then purple. So as I mentioned, for warm color, it doesn't mean these are the colors within the cool color. We can generate a lot of other color, just like any color that is within this, this particular color now is not here. So what category can we, where can we categorize this color? Cool or warm? This star color here.
Cool.
Yes, we can categorize it on cool. So by just looking at the color, you should know where you should categorize it. So yes, blue is calming, and blue represents honesty, loyalty. I can say that a lot of brands, the blue is too popular. Virtually, if I mention 10 brands, maybe 8 of the 10 would have blue within their brand color. You understand? So it's popular because it actually communicates what resonates a lot. It resonates with companies' principle. A lot of companies will want loyalty. They want them. They want the user to perceive them to be honest. They want the user to perceive them as loyal. We are ready to serve you. Loved. Aside that, yellow is so beautiful. It's very nice when you try to match yellow with virtually a lot of colors. It complements different colors perfectly. When you match blue with yellow, it's fine. You just have to twist the shades where you are choosing that yellow from. So when you complement it with blue, with green, with red, with any of the warm color, it goes well. Even if you choose within this cool color, you pick blue and you pick another cool color, it still goes well. Do you understand? So I'll show us practically how you can choose color when you are designing. When you want to design, sometimes you get confused, like especially when the company or the brand that you are designing, they just ask you to use your idea. And most times when they specify for you, because of the knowledge you have, you can advise, like, because of this and this reason and this reason, this combination of colors might not work well, or this particular color does not really speak your brand, communicates your brand well. Let's look at this and this. You can advise. So then blue can be associated with sadness or loss in another way. So as I mentioned, some color have the positive and negative side. Depends on how you use it, and the emotion attached to it, and the tradition attached to it. So then, and depends on the context. Yes, fine. It's also linked to peace and even spirituality. So that's why you see a lot of spiritual bodies, a lot of religious bodies, they have that color blue. You understand? So they have blue color in their brands. Then we have green. Green also is one of the cool colors. So it represents new beginning. It represents growth, and represent nature. Can someone mention one important, as in one popular brand, one popular industry that use green a lot?
Glow.
Yes, Glow is a.
Okay.
I mean industry. Industry. You know, sometimes some color will determine the industry that
Sir,
should use them most.
sir,
You know,
like an agricultural company.
fine. Yes, exactly. So virtually all the agricultural brands or you know, all the agricultural companies we have, they would have a touch of green. Because if they don't, what other color do they want to, you know, use in communicating their product? What other color? What other color? Can they just say blue and red and say agricultural? You even be surprised that these people, are you sure you're agricultural or you're something else? So there's a brand. Let me just try to remember this brand. I want to remember it, please. I would try to, because the brand used blue color with green color. I love the way they actually use the colors for an agricultural brand, but there's still green. There's still green there. There's still green in the color. Let me try to check. I think I saved it somewhere. Just a moment, please. A moment. I think we can read along as we are waiting. Can read along. Okay. I think it is. Yes, it is Bowery. Bowery. Yes, I got it. BOWERY.com. Oh, did they ban Nigerians? It's not a Nigerian brand, actually. Okay, it's .co. .co. What do you see first? What do you see first? You see blue, right? Hello, are you still there?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah, you see color blue. Then they started introducing the color green. Then you start scrolling. Then they start playing around blue, green, and then light, very light, soft blue on the background. Then you know the button they use blue, and then all along they started using green, different shades of green. Then they are still trying to bring that blue, trying to merge both together, trying to introduce the blue everywhere, you know. And then they're still also trying to, you know, bring in that green that we are an agricultural brand, though. So you people should not forget that blue should not distract you. We are just using that blue to, you know, as a style. If you are scrolling this, the illustration shows blue at first, then the blue is helping you to, you know, as a focus action. Yeah, then you see this is beautiful. This is, you know, very nice. So there's no, even though you have another brand, you know, a lot of brands try to make themselves different from others. So you can just play around another color, but then because you are an agricultural product, agricultural brand, that green is still very important to use. That green is very important. Let me share another website with you. I know some of you will start saving all these things for reference. These are ways you get inspiration when you want to start to design. So you look at existing websites. So existing websites, how how they play around colors and things like this. So you check them out and you admire them, you learn from their way of arranging things, the way they use their typography and all that. I think these guys has stopped us from harvesting. This is also not a Nigerian brand. Correct. Fruitful.com/2. Correct. This is also a very beautiful website, actually, that I'd like us to see, but it's not coming up. So let's proceed. So that's green. So basically, is not only agricultural brand that is attached to growth and nature. You know that. What other brand can we attach to growth or nature? Hello? Are you guys still on this call? I need to check to confirm if I'm the only one here.
So like an
Yes,
Yes, you can answer the
ecosystem
question.
or a recycle brand. So like an ecosystem or like a recycle brand.
Ecosystem.
Recycling brand.
Yeah, ecosystem.
Or recycling brand.
Yes, recycling. Yes, that's one. Another one that is attached to green. We can say banks. Growth, money. When you are dealing with money, you can
Like
attach green. You said what?
like
OPay. Yes, OPay, yes. You like OPay? So like OPay, yes. Like what other bank uses green? I think, and what's the name of this bank? Is it Fidelity? Yes, I think Fidelity also has touch of green. So yes, banks also. You can try to import the usage of green into what you use. Brands like stock exchange brands like and invest VC, like you're dealing with investment, you're dealing with stock, you're dealing with things that has to do with growth or nature. It could be like resort center. It could be like zoo. It could be like different other brands that are around nature, that is communicating nature growth. Not necessarily have to be strictly agriculture. There are a lot of brands. In fact, even technology brands can use green, because blue is very popular, green is very popular. Some warm color, also red. All those warm colors also very popular in technology. Purple also is very popular. So purple basically is associated with luxury, royalty. So these are the emotions around purple color. So, but also with mystery and so sometimes can also mean these too. So lighter purples such as lavender are more romantic and associated with spring. So these are just emotions that are attached to color. Then the last part of the color is the neutral color. So these neutral color are basically colors that sometimes you don't. I can say this brown should be under this cool color. So I categorize basically black, white, and gray under neutral. So because look at all these brands that I've been showing you guys. Let's go back to some of them. You are seeing black all along. You're seeing white all along. You're seeing, gray all along. So if I want to ask a question now, from what you're seeing here, what will you call the brand color? What's the brand color? As in, what's the color of this brand? What's the brand color of MTN? Let me start with that.
Yellow.
MTN yellow.
Yellow. Do MTN also use black?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Their new logo, one of their new logo.
is black, right? So can we say black is also their brand color?
I'm not sure. No.
Yes, it is. It is a
Yes.
secondary color.
Okay. Secondary
So
color.
when you're making choice of color, it's always good that you make choice of one or two, two or three. Max is three. Max, that's max. Don't do color riot. Max. So, but majorly, it is very, very perfect that you choose just two. Do you understand? So, MTN primary color is yellow. Then their secondary color is black. So, some brands choose to play around their primary and secondary color. Let's check MailChimp. MailChimp. What's happening? Oh,
Hello,
did they change?
anyone there?
I think MailChimp changed. Do they change their brand or what is this? Why is it? Let me just type it in. Okay, I did not type the last P. Sorry about that. That's why it's directing me to another site. Yes. What you are seeing a lot of yellow around, and then you're seeing black too. Yeah. So these are not just the color of MailChimp. Look at this color. This color of this button here is also their color. So I can even say that MailChimp color is basically yellow and this touch of green. It looks like tint green. Do you get that? But they play around black too. Probably black is the third color. Do you understand? So to some brands, brand can be black can be their major color. I've seen brands that chose black as their color. This is my color. Do you understand? So, and to some other brands, that black is not their primary color or not even part of their brand color. There's no how they will not use black. They will still use black. Let's go to Gigi. Let's go to, I like using popular brands as examples so that we all can relate. Most of the websites that all of us we have been, visiting. Somebody should suggest a website for me, please. This is CDK. So CDK's brand color is blue and then orange. You see blue and orange all over their design. But then at the same time, you're seeing other colors, right? You're seeing them use black all along. You're seeing them using gray all along. Can you see gray? And then white is also everywhere. So all this gray, black, and white do not necessarily have to be their brand color before they use it. That is why they are called neutral colors. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is why they are called neutral. They are just neutral. You are free to use them. So as CDK's color is blue and orange, can I in any way introduce purple? Let me say I now use purple for this background. I now use purple to paint this background and it's prominent. No, I can't. I can never try it because it will be against the principle. But I can choose to use black to paint all this. I can choose. I can choose to use white. Can see how white is so much. I can choose to use gray. Just little touch of gray, like just like this. I can choose to use those ones. I can play around them because they are neutral color. I can introduce them. They are like, they are like color that is a must. You have to use it. Is your brand color or not? You have to use them. Do you understand that? So those colors are the neutral colors. So, and then I mentioned earlier that apart from the fact that you can use black, white, and gray as complementary colors, like I also call them complementary colors. Aside that you use them as complementary colors, there are some brands rather, that make the choice of using black specifically. Yeah, they make it their color, their brand color. I barely see brand make white or gray their brand color. No, because these two colors cannot stand on their own. They can't stand on their own. Black alone can stand. An example of brands that use black, or can anyone just give me an example? An example is this is Medium. Medium's color is basically black, and then they have green. Do you get Medium? That this is their logo here. Black is their color. Then another brand. What brand is this? Masterclass. Let me check Masterclass. Okay, Masterclass is black and this, and what's this color, Seth?
Magenta.
What's this color? Magenta. No, I'm not sure it's magenta. You must be a graphic designer, right? Are you a
Uh,
graphic designer?
I cannot call myself like graphic
Uh,
designer, but I'm still
you're,
learning. Yeah, I'll just
you're familiar with graphic.
yes, yes,
For
yes,
for you to mention
yes,
magenta. So in graphic, you say magenta, cyan, yellow, and black. Those are the four colors, right?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
CMYK.
CMYK.
Yes. So those colors also exist in in UI UX design too. So those are the primary way of categorizing colors. When we get to the board, I'll start doing all that. I'll start doing CMYK. You start assigning figures to C, which is cyan, assign figure to M, which is magenta, assign figure to Y, which is the yellow, and K, which is the black. So you assign figure to them and you see how the color changes. So the assigning of those colors or of those figures is what is resulting into either your cool color, warm color, or neutral color. Then we have RGB also, red, blue, and green. Red, green, and blue. You get, so basically what I'm trying to establish here is that black, white, and gray are basically the neutral color. So then cultural differences. So I mentioned earlier that there are cultures, traditions attached to color. Like some brands, in China, they might see red as another thing that we are seeing it in Nigeria. So this is just an explanation about all that. So one area where designer needs to be particularly careful in their work is considering cultural difference in color meaning. So color means different thing in different in different tradition. So in most Western culture, white is associated with innocence and black is associated with death and murmur. You know how those white people view us now, black men, black people, and then they believe we are evil. We are the so we are the bad people. Then they understand white as something that is innocent. So that's why they call themselves white people. Do you understand? Even though they are not really white, their color is not like this. Is their color this? No. So, but in other cultures like China, Japan, Korea, and other Asian countries, white is associated with, you can see Asians. Asians don't always agree for this white people. So Asians, to them, what white mean is the negative of what white mean to Western people. Do you understand now? So it's negative to what white mean. So if you are design, probably some of you that eventually get a remote job or for foreign job, you're working with a Chinese or Asian companies, you should understand all these, that when you are designing for them, this is what you should do. If you use these in their color, if you use this and that color, you understand. So what is attached to their culture? What is the cultural belief that is attached to a particular color that you are trying to use for them? So this is this is a kind of resources that you can use to generate color. As I told you about how to identify or how to detect fonts or typeface in a website, you can also use Colors, COOLORS.com. .co rather. You can use it to generate color. So you might be confused, you don't know how to choose color for the design that you intend to do. So you can start generating colors. So you see all this color. So this means you can use two of this color. You can use this and this. You can use this in a set of, in a set of design. In a particular design, you can use this, and there's a good contrast within this. So if you want to continue generating, you can press space bar on your keyboard. It will generate another set of color for you that you can use. You can use these, you understand? You can use these colors also and all. So in the recorded video, I'll show you how to make decision. If you want to design, how do you make decision of color to design with? So how to do that practically, I'll do it in the recorded video as the continuation of this class. Then I'll move on to the illustration, imagery, and then icon. So that will be the end of the class today. Thank you so much. If you have any question, please, you can ask. Yes. So there's a link that will be sent to the group where you can actually send in your questions, and then there will be a quiz attached to this particular class that everyone would have to attend the quiz. Then the people that missed the first quiz, please, I would advise that you go back to it to attend to it, because it's part of what would make up your grade at the end of the course. Thank you so much. So I don't know if Mr. Obudili have anything to say before we end this class. Ola, you can stop the recording, please, to keep the class short. Okay, fine. So please stop the recording, and that will be the end of this class. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.